Hello, single ladies. I am curious if you ever struggle with attracting powerful and successful men. So I am at this beautiful marina in San Diego. It's gorgeous, and I've been learning a lot about just how prevalent this problem is because I'm surrounded by powerful women who oftentimes are not attracting a king, not attracting a man that they really feel inspired by. So do you ever find that you are attracting men who are kind of passive, kind of feminine, and they love your power and they love your strength, but they don't have as much strength of their own? They're kind of looking at you to be the strong one in the relationship and the one to be the boss babe. And maybe that's kind of flattering for a little while, but most of the time, most of my clients get kind of annoyed by having to be the one who's always driving and always going and always pushing. And what they want is to be with a man who really they deeply respect and that is helping to take care of them, not just financially, but emotionally and otherwise. So, what this looks like is, going to events and seeing powerful men there, but they don't approach you, or going out to the bar and they see the guys in suits, it's happy hour, but they are looking at the girl that looks like not as smart and powerful and successful as you are, and you're thinking, what? Or have you ever met a really powerful man and he's with a woman that you're not really sure why he's with her because she doesn't necessarily seem to bring as much to the table? How painful, how much does it suck to have to go to events alone, and even if you're at a conference, to not have anyone that you can call or text or get a sweet sext from him when you're in your conference and think, oh my God, yes, I feel so loved, I feel so cherished, and I feel so turned on, I can't wait to get back to my husband. And how many times, do you feel scared, well, how am I going to attract a powerful man? It's just getting worse and worse the older I get, because the more powerful I get, the bigger this problem becomes, and I just feel stuck. My hair is all in my face. It's so beautiful, but it's windy here. So this can be a huge, huge problem. And just to be, vulnerable and share a bit about where I'm coming from with this, I remember feeling totally frozen and scared when I would go to events when I was single, and I would be dying and wanting to connect with someone, wanting to have a great time, wanting to meet someone amazing because I was, at events with really powerful, successful men, but I was not sure how to make it happen. And I really struggled with being vulnerable, and being vulnerable attracts the right sort of people with you. So I'm going to share, the vulnerability isn't necessarily easy. There's a lot of stuff that gets in the way of us being vulnerable. And one of the things that can happen is that we think that being vulnerable means that we're going to be hurt. And the truth is that sometimes we will be. If we are vulnerable, sometimes we'll be hurt, but we'll be hurt by the people that don't matter. So I, at this conference, actually shared something really vulnerable about my past, and most of the women here, 99% of them, were super supportive and encouraging and came up to me and shared with me. And there was a woman who came up to me and kind of trashed me a little bit. And I was like, ew. And for a hot second, I took that personally. And then I realized, this is exactly why I now know, okay, this is not someone that I want to be close with. This is not someone I'm going to put any more attention or energy or personal time into. So when you're vulnerable, the beautiful thing about that is that it means that you instantly have feedback on who you want in your life or not. So if you've ever struggled with feeling vulnerable, and if you've ever realized that, I'm not attracting the right people into my life because I'm closed off, because I don't know how to be vulnerable, and I don't know how to attract an alpha male, I want you to start being vulnerable and know that, yes, it is a risk sometimes. It is a risk to be vulnerable, but the reward is great because you get instant feedback about who you want in your life, and you attract more powerful people into your life, because it takes a powerful person to handle someone else's vulnerability and not kick them while they're down and not take advantage of them when they share. So if you've ever dated someone who's manipulative or narcissistic, or you share something and you feel like you get punched in the gut, it's because they have a problem with their own vulnerability, and that's not something that you need to even worry about. It's clear that that's not someone that you want to trust your heart with. So what if you could be in a place where you felt actually totally open and free and able to be fully expressed and attract a king, an alpha male who really wants to be in your life and take care of you and be powerful, so you can be a power couple instead of feeling like you've got to be the one who drives the relationship? Well, the key is to learn how to be vulnerable in a way that you bring your courage, in a way that you bring your authenticity, in a way that you bring your heart. And imagine what it would be like to then have no barrier to intimacy, no barrier to sharing who you are in your full self. Because when you share your full self, shame disappears. And shame can be a silent killer in relationships because it causes us to hide who we really are. So I don't want you to have to hide who you really are. I want you to be in the most passionate, epic, amazing love of your life, one that leads to amazing trips and spending time on the water just like this, or brainstorming about your businesses together, totally rocking it as a power couple. But don't try to do this alone, because a lot of times when women are starting to learn how to be vulnerable, they do it in a way where it looks like they're a victim. They become a victim instead of a victor. And so they're acting like a victim, and it actually draws the wrong people. It draws people that are wanting to take advantage of them or to keep them small. Never be with someone that you have to be small around. So being vulnerable is not something you want to try to just do on your own or just read a book about, because you actually need practice doing it in a way that retains your power and draws the right people towards you. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, if that's something you struggle with, is how to be appropriately vulnerable, then I would love to connect. All you have to do is book a call at violetlang.com/talk. And here's what that's about. So in that call, you'll get clarity on what are your blocks to vulnerability, how is that influencing your pattern of attraction, maybe times in the past when you've been vulnerable and it's backfired, and how to move through that, and then what is it that you ultimately want? What is that vision of your partner? What sort of life do you want to create together as a power couple, and feeling like you can be totally authentically yourself. So in that call, again, we'll talk about your vision, we'll talk about your blocks to your vision. When else in your life do you have 45 minutes to an hour with an expert who just wants to help you, who just wants to support you? This is very different than having, a 45-minute call with your friend or with your family member or with one of your girlfriends or with one of your guy friends, because let's face it, they're biased. They're not going to give you their unbiased opinion because they know you. Me and my team, we don't know you. I don't know if I can help you at all yet or not, because I don't know your specific problems, and I only work with women that I've seen their problems. I know what the pattern. I know exactly how to get them from where they are now, which is single and frustrated with the sort of men that they attract, to attracting really powerful, incredible men and feeling authentic and themselves in the process. But during that call, if it's a good fit, we'll talk about our work together in the program. And if it's not a good fit, then you'll get some links to books or some other resources that can support you on your path, because we only want to help people who are ready for the help and who we know that we can help. So I'm sending you so much love from sunny San Diego and this beautiful marina. I'm wanting you to upgrade your patterns of attraction, not settle for men who aren't powerful enough for you. And in order to do that, wanting to help you feel comfortable being vulnerable. And I'm just going to leave you with a quote. And that quote is, "No one can make you feel inferior except for yourself." And that's by Eleanor Roosevelt. And that was my favorite quote in my early 20s and in my late teens, because I would oftentimes be vulnerable and I didn't know yet how to do that in a really healthy way, and I would take things personally. So you don't have to do that, because you can't give your power away to anyone else, and the only person who can make you feel inferior is yourself. So even if you do share and someone doesn't respond in the way that you want, you get total clarity that that's not someone that you want to keep in your life. And it's okay to have those standards, it's okay to have those boundaries, because your energy and the people you spend your time with are super important. So I'm sending you so much love. Go ahead and book a call at violetlang.com/talk if you want to change your patterns of attraction, attract more powerful men, and learn how to be vulnerable in the process. So, mwah! Bye.